What is going on, Mutant Freaks? It is episode 5 of Names of the Rippaverse. Today we are diving into something a little different, the names of the Bloodruth family, and how each one carries a layer of meaning that shapes their identity, their symbolism, and maybe even their destiny. So let's start off with the surname Bloodruth. It's not a common family name. In fact, it feels deliberately constructed, and that's what makes it powerful. Blood instantly pulls toward imagery of life, lineage, sacrifice, violence, and passion. It's primal, it's raw. Then we see Ruth. In Hebrew, Ruth means compassion or friend, tied to the biblical Ruth known as loyalty or devotion. But Old English says that the word Ruth also means sorrow or pity. So when you fuse the two together, you get the name that can be read in multiple ways: compassion through blood, a lineage of sorrow, or just a dark primal identity that fits perfectly for a character walking the line between hero, villain, or anti-hero. That dually makes Bloodruth such a striking name. Now let's move to Sydney Bloodruth, our girl, the Blood Witch. Sydney comes from Old English and French roots. In English, it means wide meadow or broad island, but its French connection ties to Saint Denis, the patron saint of Paris. So Sydney already carries a sense of history, faith, and groundedness. Paired to the surname, you get a mix of holiness, lineage, and compassion that's wrapped in something much darker. It's a name that feels balanced between light and shadow. Up next is Casey. This is a modern twist on the classic name Cassie, and it comes from Irish roots, specifically the Gaelic Ocathasa. The meaning is powerful, vigilant, watchful, or brave in battle. That makes Casey the eyes and ears of the family, someone who actively protects, stays sharp, and carries the warrior spirit in the name's origin. And that kind of makes sense because in the book, he's watching over Sydney on the other side. The unique spelling also makes it feel personal, modern, and intentional. Now let's look at Aggie. This name has deep biblical ties. Aggie was the father of Shammah the Hararite, of one of King David's mighty warriors in the Old Testament. The name itself meaning fugitive or exile, someone living outside the normal bounds of society. That adds a sense of danger, of being on the run, but also resilience and toughness. Now, if you think about it, Bloodruth's mother, Aggie, she actually died and became a vampire. In surname usage, Aggie also has been connected to the idea of purity, trying it back to the name like Agnes. So Aggie balances exile and purity, two themes that could define someone caught between worlds. Then there's Abel, probably the most recognizable biblical name here. Abel, the second son of Adam and Eve, whose life was cut short by his brother Cain. The Hebrew word havel means breath or vapor, something fleeting and fragile, but Abel's story adds depth. He represents innocence, sacrifice, faithfulness, and purity. He was the Bible's first martyr, someone who gave his best and paid the price. Naming a character Abel instantly layers them with themes of loyalty, devotion, and tragic sacrifice. And finally, we have Dominic. This one comes straight from Latin Dominicus, meaning of the Lord's or belonging to God. It's a name loaded with authority, devotion, and spiritual weight. Across Europe, especially the Slavic and German traditions, Dominic has been tied to faith and leadership. Think of Saint Dominic, who founded the Dominican order, a man devoted to service and discipline. In a family name lineup like this, Dominic feels like the anchor, the one divine with purpose or leadership running through his veins. So when you step back and look at the Bloodruth family as a whole, their names aren't random. They paint a picture. Bloodruth speaks of compassion tied to sacrifice. Sydney carries heritage and grounding. Casey stands watchful and brave. Aggie brings the mark of exile, but also resilience. Abel embodies innocence and sacrifice, and Dominic carries divine authority and leadership. Together, it's almost like each name is a puzzle piece. Sacrifice, vigilance, exile, purity, faith, leadership, coming together to form a legacy that's bigger than any one character. So, what do you guys think? Are these names chosen for style, or do they hold a hidden map to the Bloodruth family role in the Rippaverse? What do you guys think? Be stern, be great, and as always, do better, and we will talk to you guys later.